Okay, guys, Joe Sayabeni here for his YouTube or my YouTube channel, Access Not Denied, on another presidential poll update Biden versus Trump. So let's get to it. All right, guys, the last time I had a Biden versus Trump presidential poll update was back on August 28th, and I think it was it's I'm pretty much ready to make another update, and we're gonna get into a couple of things. I'm gonna go through, of course, Real Clear Politics and a couple of small articles, and then we'll see how it's looking for both candidates. All right, so I'm gonna go onto my screen and I'll go over some of these polls. All right, so let me get to my screen. Okay, so I'm on my screen here. So let's talk about these polls. We're going to start with Real Clear Politics. Okay, so this is as of 9/8/2020. If you'll see right here, it's Biden still up in the polls with a spread of 7.1. The interesting thing is, let's go back and take a look at when I first started following this. So let's go back to August 19th, and the Real Clear Politics average was Biden with a spread of 7.6. All right, and during that time, you'll see that Rasmussen was +4. Economist YouGov was +10, and the Hill Harris was +6. So I like these three, and also CNN was Biden +4. Now the Economist YouGov seems a little high, so I stick to Rasmussen, the Hill, and CNN most of the time when I look at this. But I'm going to go a little later on in the video. I'm going to go over to a couple other polling stuff that's not showed on Real Clear Politics. All right, so let's go to the current. And you'll see here on let's see, we got the Hill Harris is Biden +6, and that was ending August 31st. Rasmussen, which is going to be updated this week, was still Biden +4, and the YouGov with CBS News is still +10, right? And CNN is +8. So before it was CNN with +4, now it's CNN with +8. So the president is not gaining, which is interesting. You would think that about a week after the RNC convention, it would have changed, but it hasn't changed. It looks like it's getting kind of worse for the president. Right here, you'll see in the graph form. I mean, Biden's kind of staying consistent. The president did rise a little bit. And then, but I thought he would get a larger bump right after the RNC. I thought the convention was pretty good by the president. Both conventions had their weaknesses and their strong points, but I thought the president's RNC convention was a little bit bigger and more. It had the audience, so this is very interesting. But let's go to some of the swing states, and then I'll check out some other polling websites. So we'll stick to Real Clear Politics. All right, and we're going to look at the swing states. So here we can look at the battleground states. So I'm going to pick. Let's pick Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin has Biden +5. And if you look at the graph here, the president did slightly come up and fell lately, but Biden's been consistent here. So I think I tell you one thing with these polls, including the state polls. When the election comes, if it's still like this and the president is even even if Biden wins and he only wins by a small majority, there's something wrong with these polling data, the way they're getting the polling. They're going to have to change up the polling. I don't know, but these numbers look like Biden's going to win here in Wisconsin. Let's look at Florida. Now, Florida, Trafalgar Group, I don't even know how to pronounce it. They're, what I hear is a Republican-leaning type poll. They have Trump +3. Rasmussen's not here, right? But the Real Clear average is 1.4. So this is a fight over here in Florida. I'm very curious about the Rasmussen polls if they come out, and the Hill. But right now, it looks like it can go either way, even though Biden is slightly up. Right? Let's go check out Michigan. Michigan, Biden +3.3. If you look here, the president rallied up a little bit here. And I tell you, this is closer than you would think here. And, the obviously Trafalgar has it up as Trump +2, but again, right-leaning or Republican-leaning. Here's YouGov, Biden +4. This was back July to August 6th. So, we got to see more polls come out this week and see how this changes here with Biden +3.3. I don't know, but this is definitely close. Right? Okay, Pennsylvania. So I'm hearing a lot about Pennsylvania. Biden +3.9. So Susquehanna, which I never heard of, they have Biden +2. Monmouth has Biden +3. Quinnipiac, man, I'm telling you, I have a bad time today. Biden +8. And Rasmussen, which was 825 to 827, August 25th to August 27th. They're going to have another poll. Okay? I'm very curious. They have it tied. Right? Let's look at the little graph here. And again, the president has been rallying lately on this graph. So this is interesting. And this is the first time you're seeing Biden's kind of falling here. So I'm very curious about this poll. Matter of fact, I'm going to mark this down as Pennsylvania key. Right? Let's go and let's look at Minnesota. Now, Minnesota's not going to have much here. There won't be a graph. There's not much polling groups. Obviously, Trafalgar has it as a tie. Emerson has Biden +3. I can't tell in Minnesota. Minnesota is usually a Democratic stronghold, but we'll see what happens with future polling. Right now, I can't tell. So those are some of the swing states that I want to stick to. Arizona, I've been hearing that Biden has been picking up here, which, as you can see, Biden +5. But look at the graph here. Look at that. Weird stuff. I mean, the president was kind of hanging in there, and then all of a sudden he dropped, and then he dropped again. This is going to be interesting to see with Arizona. We'll see what happens there. All right, so let's go with another polling operation called 538. So when I was going through the polling, 538 it doesn't completely show on Real Clear because it does a polling similar to Real Clear where it takes a lot of polls, right? But it says here Biden gets good polls in Arizona, and Wisconsin, and a bad one in Pennsylvania. Now, the Pennsylvania one, as you can see from Real Clear, is plus 3.9, right? But with 538, you see a plus 4.4. And you're going to see that Biden has been losing ground and Trump has been gaining ground, according to this polling website, 538. Again, this is an interesting polling site because you can actually manipulate. It filters by what they call a pollster grade, which, I don't really know how they grade. But if you go and you bring it back to A+, you'll see that Biden +1, Biden +3, Biden +4. It's closer. They got Monmouth there. So, this is going to be very interesting when it comes to this polling. But, as I look at these, I'm noticing that the president is not, he hasn't picked up that much according to polling data. And I'm curious about this polling, whether it's correct or not. I mean, in 2016, obviously President Trump won against Hillary, and the polling had Hillary leading. So you would think that they have learned their lesson from back, from 2016, but I don't know. It doesn't look like maybe they haven't. We'll see. I mean, the election's only 60 days away. Let's see what else I have here. So this is a polling or forecaster, primarymodel.com. And, I found this through viewing some YouTube videos about polling. And this primary model has been good in predicting the president and predicting who wins. And they've been pretty much right, like all the time. So let's see what they say now. They say that chance of winning in 2020 electoral college will go to President Trump. 362 electoral votes. I'm going to write that down. 362. And this is from Primary Model. And the reason why is on election night, I'm going to be watching the elections, just like many people are. But I'm going to be taking notes about these predictions or forecasts. And look what they predict. 176 electoral votes for Biden. So, I mean, this is like a landslide. And this was posted on March 2nd, 2020. And it says the primary model gives President Donald Trump a 91% chance of winning the 2020 presidential election, with Democrat Joe Biden having just a 9% chance. Wow. In a weird way, I can't wait for this election to see whether this is proven wrong or not. Trump would get 362 electoral votes, Biden 176. This forecast is unconditional and final, hence not subject to any updating. So here is the mistake I think this primary model is making. This was on March 2nd, 2020. And the pandemic basically started in March, in March 2020 here in America. And then you had riots, protests, President Trump, whether or not he handled the coronavirus well, the PPE stuff, the ships, the fights with Cuomo in New York, the ventilators. I tell you, I think this is where this primary model is going to go wrong. I don't think the president is going to get these 362 electoral votes. But hey, listen. He did an amazing thing in 2016, so we have to see. I mean, we'll see when the election, obviously when the election comes around on November 3rd. All right, so I am basically going to end this video here and sum it up by getting off of my screen. So let me sum it up. Let me get off my screen. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. So let me summarize this whole polling thing. I definitely thought numbers would be different for the president at this point. Maybe this week or next week is important. Stimulus checks, stimulus talk, stuff like that. Suburban mom talk. The riots are still going on. Um, but I got to tell you, if it doesn't change, it doesn't look good for the president, according to the polls. It doesn't look good for the president. Now, we still have 60 days, just under 60 days till Election Day. And I'm going to make another update to this probably. I might give it another week to get some more polling data, or maybe when Rasmussen comes out, maybe Thursday or Friday of this weekend coming up. But I don't know. It's pretty interesting stuff going on here. So let's see how the polling continues. But right now, Biden's still looking good. All right, and at that point, guys, I want to thank you for subscribing and, of course, like this video, please, on this channel. I just started it, and it's new. You can subscribe, like, comment, and share. And hopefully the algorithm will work for me. And thank you, guys. And at this point, I'm going to say goodbye. So, goodbye.